Drone footage of war-torn Ukrainian cities, frontline soldiers in trenches, flashing headlines, year 3 of war, $60 billion in aid stalls, Congress at its third year and it shows no sign of ending. But now a critical US military aid package worth $60 billion is stuck in limbo, caught in the middle of a bitter political fight in Washington. Capitol Hill, lawmakers in sessions protested outside Congress. The aid packages meant to provide advanced weapons, ammunition, and logistical support to Ukraine's armed force has been stalled for weeks in Congress. The main reason, Persian gridlock and a growing divide over America's role in the war. Analyst soundbite is the support for Ukraine is still there, but it's being held hostage by border debates on immigration, spending, and foreign policy. House Speaker and Senate Majority Leader speaking to press slipped screen with President Biden. President Joe Biden has urged Congress to pass the aid immediately, warning that delays are costly lives and weakening Ukraine's defense, but Republican lawmakers, especially in the House, are demanding tighter border security and domestic spending cuts in exchange. President Biden said that if we don't stand with Ukraine now, we send a message to the world that America's word cannot be trusted. Ukrainian troops firing artillery, destroyed tanks, aid, confess moving supplies. On the ground, Ukrainian commanders are sounding the alarm. They say they are running low on critical supplies, including artillery shells, drones, and air defense interceptors, just as Russia intensifies attacks across the Eastern Front. Ukrainian soldiers say that we can still hold the line, but without new supplies, it becomes harder every day. Russian advance in Donetsk, drone strikes near Kharkiv. Vladimir Putin speaking, Russian military drills, state media clips. Meanwhile, Russia is watching closely. Analyst Vladimir Putin says the stalls US aid as a sign of Western fatigue and a chance to press forward while Ukraine waits. Some Russian units have reportedly increased drone strikes and missile branches, trying to exploit the gap. US military aid to Ukraine since 2022, $113 billion approved, $60 billion pending. European leaders at NATO summit flag-waving Ukrainian diaspora protest in Berlin and Warsaw. Across Europe, concern is growing that the US may be stepping back, leaving allies to shoulder more of the burden. Some NATO countries have placed additional aid, but say they can't replace US support entirely. NATO officials say that we stand with Ukraine, but without US leadership, the allies is weakened. US reporter interviewed economic concern at home, families discussing bills. Back in the US, polls show the support for Ukraine aid is slipping, especially among younger and working class voters. Many are focused on inflation, housing, and the upcoming election and question how long Washington can keep funding a distant war. Should the US continue large-scale aid to Ukraine? Yes, 48%, no, 44%, unsure 8%. Ukrainian flag waving, Washington skyline, soldiers marching through rubble. For Ukraine, the fight for survival countries with or without more US weapons. But in Washington, the battle is now political and the stakes are global. Will Congress break the deadlock before it's too late? For Ukraine, every delay has consequences. Ukraine war, year 3 US aid decision low.